There's a lot of secret plot to Pumping Iron that originally was going to be the movie. Dude, let's go ahead and talk about it. You already know the vibes. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode, I think, episode 4 of Fitness After Dark. Your host, Naive, since as always, we're rocking a little Sherpa jacket today, a little Sherpa action. This episode, we're going to be talking about the most influential bodybuilding film of all time, Pumping Iron, but we already know the plot. It's a classic in the bodybuilding community. No need to talk about that anymore, that much anyway. But let's actually talk about a secret lost plot to the movie that actually was going to be the basis of the film itself before getting scrapped entirely for the Arnold and Lou rivalry that's predominant throughout the film. So a little backstory, right? There's this actor, his name is Bud Cort. Bud Cort is an OG. All right, he was big, okay? He was big in films like back in the 60s. More specifically, he was in this movie called Harold and Maude. For all my film guys, you know about that movie. It's a classic, right? I'm gonna hit you with a technical term real quick. In New Hollywood, boom, bro. Write that down. New Hollywood, right? That movie, for those that don't know, that movie is basically this guy falls in love with this older lady. Not the way you would think. It's the lady is like a grandma or something. She's like in her 70s or 80s, and the dude falls in love with her, bro, as a sign of rebellion. I know, weird plot, but the movie's actually not that bad. Anywho, right? Back to the subject. Bud Cort was emerging, right, in that time period. So the producers of Pumping Iron, when coming up with the idea of the film, they decide, hey, you know what, Bud, right? Let's go ahead and grab you for this movie. We think you'd be great for the film. Why don't you join us? We can go ahead and get this thing rolling. So the plot originally for Pumping Iron was then going to be Bud Cort getting documented to transform his physique from being a really skinny actor to someone that has a good amount of muscle. And the person that was going to be overseeing his transformation and training him along the way was going to be Arnold, man. And the whole movie was going to take place in Gold's Gym. None of the bodybuilders that we then see in Pumping Iron, such as Ken Waller, Mike Katz, Franco Columbu, those icons, we weren't going to see them at the film at all. It was mostly just going to be like a transformation, motivational type of story. The thing later on was they found Bud himself did not feel entirely committed to the process of change for the movie that it required. So he went ahead and decided to forego his salary, have that go towards the movie itself, and he ultimately left production. And afterwards, the producers, kind of scrambling to find like a really decent plot for the movie, decided to go ahead and document the rivalry between Arnold and Lou. Arnold being like a confident, charismatic kind of guy. Lou Ferrigno, on the other hand, was like the complete opposite. He was very quiet, down to earth, and they thought it would be like a really interesting contrast for the movie itself. The thing is, though, why it's so secret, why it's so lost, is that none of the footage was like discovered. They thought it must have been lost on some lost media mysteries, right? It turns out, like in I think 1999 or 2000, there was a documentary that aired on Cinemax called Raw Iron, the making of Pumping Iron. That's like my movie narrator voice. That aired, and they finally uncovered some of the footage that was present for the documentary or for Pumping Iron before it became known as the movie it is today. I actually have some of the footage as well that we can go ahead and see. So let's go ahead and check it out.
So there was a tremendous struggle to make this movie really work and to make it really interesting, not only for the bodybuilding crowd, but for the general population.
To do that, and to give the film some Hollywood sizzle, Butler approached Bud Cort, the hot young star of MASH, Brewster McCloud, and Harold and Maude.
I've never seen so many huge people in my life. That's why I joined a gym. I want to get my blood moving, you know?
Yeah.
All I do is drive and scream at my agent, you know? So I figured I'd, you know, get my blood moving.
The idea was to send Bud to muscle masterclass with Arnold.
Am I supposed to breathe before I stand up, during, or after? I know this thing. I hate it. Oh, I crack my neck. And when do I breathe in? Breathe out when? When do I breathe? In, out, right.
He was very funny, and he happened to love bodybuilding.
Just start thinking about that it's a beautiful exercise and that it makes your legs grow. And
Yeah,
maybe
I
you
do all that psychological shit, but it doesn't work with me. I
it
get
will-
pain in my leg.
Listen.
But after screening all his footage, Bud felt his scenes were too distracting from the main storyline.
I think this whole thing is fucked.
I think so too.
Bud pulled out, asking the filmmakers to put the rest of his salary back into the project so they could finish.
And I always teased him. I said, one day I'm going to take all of this footage that we shot and put it back into the movie. Now finally people are going to see it.
Let me show you another exercise.
I feel that would have been very interesting to see his transformation if he stuck through it, especially training with Arnold for such a long period of time. That footage, however, is like really hard to find. There's literally like only 2 videos made. It was that documentary that we just took a look at, and then Nick over at Nick's Strength and Power it made like a little video on that too. But I didn't know. I'm telling you, that would have been so interesting to see how that would have turned out. Bud transforming from the physique he had to being built, bro. If he trained with Arnold for a good period of time, which, bro, if you trained with Arnold, dude, you are getting jacked, bro. No doubt about it. But man, that's the loss and secretive plot to Pumping Iron that we uncovered. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little podcast today. Stay tuned, guys, for the rest of the week. We have some really great premieres coming up, with the Golden Era coming up tomorrow, and then on Friday the behind the scenes, and then of course we'll do maybe a little reaction video of some training from the 70s right on maybe Monday, and then Tuesday we're right back at it again with the warm-up episode 2, little countdown, little preview show coming up, and it's gonna be awesome. So really appreciate you guys as always, broskis and brochachas. And if you guys want more cool old school content, be sure to check out these 2 videos here as well. All right, take it easy, guys. All right, have a good one.